They say some moments arrive not by chance, but by design. On this Wednesday, a call whispers through the currents of life, a call reserved for those who carry a light few recognize. You are not here by accident, you are chosen. But this is no gift of comfort or easy reward. Being chosen is a test, a challenge that stretches the mind, the spirit, and the very essence of who you are. It asks one question above all: are you aligned with truths beyond the ordinary? For centuries, Shaolin masters have understood this. True power never comes from ego or title. It is born in silence, in discipline, in the quiet moments when no one watches, when the mind surrenders to stillness. Those who fail to answer this call are not punished by the world. They are denied the wisdom they were meant to embody. The chosen must walk a path unseen by many, guided by subtle signs and inner light. In this video, you will discover the weight of being chosen and why alignment with higher truths matters more than mere recognition. We will explore lessons hidden in the Shaolin tradition, ancient practices that sharpen the mind and purify the spirit. Lesser-known insights will reveal how discipline transforms fear into clarity and hesitation into action. By the end, you will see the moment approaching Wednesday not as coincidence, but as a portal, an opportunity to awaken the deeper self. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, a space where silence teaches louder than words, and mastery begins within. Subscribe now and step into the journey that will illuminate the path of the chosen. Your readiness matters, and the shift begins here. Time is not merely a line we move along. It is a living current, flowing with purpose, often unnoticed until a moment demands our attention. Wednesday carries a weight few perceive, a threshold where the subtle energies of the week converge, aligning inner readiness with external opportunity. In this alignment, doors open not by force, but by resonance, a resonance that the untrained mind passes by, blind to the whispers of fate. Shaolin masters have long taught that mastery begins with rhythm. The body, the breath, and the mind each follow cycles deeper than the eye can see. To act without awareness of timing is to strike into the air, powerful yet without direction. Yet to move in harmony with the natural flow is to become unstoppable, for every step, every choice, echoes with the current of the universe itself. Wednesday, in this sense, is not just a day, it is a portal, a quiet signal that preparation meets opportunity, that readiness meets awakening. Those who have learned to listen perceive the signs, a shift in energy, a thought that lingers, a subtle tug at the heart. The chosen ones recognize that the moments for action are rare, hidden within ordinary days, and only those attuned to the rhythm notice the opening. Shaolin practice trains one to sense these currents, through stillness, through disciplined awareness, through careful observation of self and surroundings. Each breath, each pause, each movement becomes a mirror reflecting the greater flow. When timing aligns with intention, even the smallest action carries weight beyond comprehension. To ignore it is to stumble through life's rhythms blindly, missing the portals that appear for those who are ready. Wednesday waits quietly, impartial yet exacting, offering the chance for awakening to those who can move in step with its pulse. There is a silence deeper than sleep, a stillness that hums with quiet power. It is here within this inner calm that the mind learns to listen to truths often hidden behind noise and distraction. The world moves with urgency, yet those who seek mastery know that rushing blinds the soul. Shaolin masters have long taught that before action comes stillness. Only when the mind settles like a pond can reflections appear clear, revealing the paths that are otherwise invisible. To cultivate this stillness is to train in patience and discipline. The body may move, the hands may act, yet the mind must remain anchored, aware, unshaken. In this space, intuition is sharpened, and guidance emerges not as a loud command, but as a subtle nudge, a whisper of what is necessary. Meditation is not escape, it is preparation. Each breath drawn with attention, each moment observed without judgment, becomes a thread weaving readiness into the fabric of the self. Ancient wisdom reminds us that life-altering moments often arrive quietly, disguised in ordinary hours. The chosen see them because they have practiced listening within. The restless mind, cluttered with doubt and desire, misses these signs, but through repeated discipline, through sitting in silence and observing the ebb and flow of thought, a gateway opens. Inner stillness becomes a lens, sharpening perception, clarifying purpose, and allowing action to flow effortlessly when the moment demands it. True mastery is not measured by speed or noise, but by the depth of awareness. Stillness is not emptiness, it is fullness, a concentrated energy waiting to be directed. In this quiet, the spirit recognizes its own strength, the subtle currents of life, and the timing of destiny. Only those who enter the sanctuary of calm can act with precision, courage, and alignment, moving through life as though every step has been prepared for centuries before it arrives. Discipline is the quiet force that shapes a life, unseen yet profoundly felt. It is not the clamor of achievement or the applause of others that marks the chosen, but the steady, consistent mastery over self. In thought, discipline teaches clarity, separating fleeting impulses from intentions that carry purpose. In action, it ensures each step is measured, deliberate, aligned with higher truths rather than the lure of immediate gratification. In emotion, it grants the strength to observe, to pause, and to respond rather than be swept away by the turbulence of reaction. To be chosen is to bear a responsibility that demands conscious presence. Impulses are distractions, subtle traps that pull the mind away from what is essential. The untrained mind reacts, often too late or with consequences unconsidered. Discipline, cultivated over time, transforms this pattern. A moment of hesitation guided by awareness can change the course of a life, turning potential chaos into clarity. Shaolin masters have always emphasized that strength without control is weakness. True power lies in restraint, in the ability to choose deliberately, even when every instinct pushes toward haste. Shaolin training extends far beyond the physical forms and movements. Each day is a lesson in mental fortitude, in building habits that refine the mind as much as the body. Repetition, patience, and unwavering focus ingrain discipline into the core of being. It is in these quiet, often unseen practices that character is forged, resilience is strengthened, and the chosen learn to navigate life's hidden currents with precision. Discipline is not a burden. It is the bridge between intention and realization. It aligns the body, mind, and spirit, preparing one to act with clarity when the moment demands it. Those who cultivate this daily practice find that impulse loses its power, and life responds to them with rhythm and flow. Mastery, therefore, is not in resisting the world, but in mastering the self, moment by moment, breath by breath. Within every person lies a quiet flame, a light that neither time nor circumstance can extinguish. It is subtle, often hidden beneath layers of doubt, fear, and distraction, yet it is always present, waiting to be recognized. This inner light is more than a symbol. It is the source of intuition, the compass that guides toward higher understanding, and the beacon that reveals purpose in moments of uncertainty. Shaolin wisdom teaches that true mastery begins here, not in external conquest, but in the careful illumination of the self. Mindfulness is the tool by which this light is discovered and nurtured. Through observation of thought and emotion without judgment, the mind becomes a mirror, reflecting the patterns and energies that obscure the light within. Meditation, breathwork, and quiet reflection allow one to see beyond the surface of habit and impulse, reaching the core of being where clarity resides. In these moments, subtle guidance arises, a thought, a feeling, or a gentle insistence that points toward the right path. Recognizing this is the first step toward alignment with the deeper currents of life. The Shaolin path emphasizes that knowledge of the self is the foundation for all other mastery. One cannot move with true precision, act with unwavering purpose, or navigate life's hidden rhythms without understanding one's own strengths, shadows, and potential. This light within is not static. It grows with practice, discipline, and attention. Each moment of awareness, each pause to listen, nurtures it, allowing it to shine more clearly. When the inner light is acknowledged, life transforms. Decisions become clearer, Actions become more deliberate, and the presence of higher wisdom guides even the smallest choices. To know oneself is to carry a lantern into the unknown, illuminating the path ahead. Those who cultivate this inner flame find that even in darkness, they walk with confidence, guided by a truth that is entirely their own. The mind often builds walls where none exist, and at the center of these walls stands the ego. It is subtle, convincing, and persistent, whispering that comfort is more valuable than growth, that familiarity outweighs transformation. When a moment of awakening approaches, when the currents of life signal an opportunity for higher alignment, the ego resists. It masks change as risk, disguises guidance as illusion, and sows doubt where clarity could flourish. Shaolin teachings have always recognized this as the primary test on the path to mastery. The ego is not an enemy to be destroyed, but a teacher to be understood. Its resistance is a mirror, reflecting the areas within ourselves where attachment, fear, or pride cloud perception. By observing the ego without judgment, one gains insight into the subtle ways it shapes thought and action. This awareness is the first step toward conscious choice, for only when resistance is acknowledged can it be navigated with wisdom rather than ignored or suppressed. In practice, this means cultivating patience, stillness, and self-reflection. When impulses to dismiss signs arise, when hesitation tempts in the face of meaningful opportunity, one must pause and inquire, is this fear or is it the voice of growth? Shaolin philosophy teaches that mastery lies in the discipline to respond rather than react, to act in alignment with principle rather than desire. Resistance becomes not an obstacle but a guidepost, highlighting where deeper work is required and where the self must be strengthened. Through this lens, every challenge presented by the ego transforms into a doorway for growth. Each moment of hesitation or doubt becomes an invitation to expand awareness, refine judgment, and cultivate the courage to act from a place of conscious alignment. The path is never free of resistance, yet those who meet it with clarity and discipline find that what once obstructed them now illuminates the way forward. True mastery arises not from strength of body alone, nor from sharpness of mind alone, nor from purity of spirit alone. Shaolin wisdom teaches that the greatest power emerges when all three are in harmony, each supporting and reflecting the other. The body becomes more than a vessel, it is a tool for discipline and presence. The mind becomes more than a thinker, it is a guide for perception and clarity. The spirit becomes more than a concept, it is the source of purpose, intuition, and resilience. Alignment of body, mind, and spirit is not an abstract ideal. It is cultivated through consistent practice, awareness, and intention. Physical routines, once performed with attention and respect, awaken strength and endurance while teaching patience and control. Mental exercises, reflection, and meditation sharpen focus, allowing one to perceive subtle patterns in thought, emotion, and circumstance. Spiritual discipline, the practice of observing, listening, and connecting to a deeper current, provides guidance that integrates the lessons of both body and mind into coherent action. Shaolin practice emphasizes that these elements are not separate paths but threads of the same fabric. When one is out of balance, actions falter, thoughts scatter, and clarity diminishes. When all are aligned, the self operates with a quiet authority, responding to life with precision, insight, and calm power. Mindfulness meditation becomes a bridge, linking awareness to movement, thought to intention, and intention to purpose. Daily discipline in routines strengthens this connection, making alignment less a goal and more a natural state of being. Those who achieve this harmony move through the world like a river flowing over stones, firm yet flexible, powerful yet graceful, present in each moment yet attuned to currents unseen. Through body, mind, and spirit working as one, life is no longer a series of reactions but a deliberate dance with clarity, balance, and mastery. The world speaks in whispers, yet most hear only the loudest sounds. True guidance often arrives not in grand gestures or spoken commands, but in subtle signs, a shift in the wind, a fleeting thought, a quiet sensation in the body. Shaolin wisdom teaches that those who walk the path of mastery must learn to listen beyond words, to tune into the currents beneath the surface of life. The chosen recognize that the loudest messages are rarely the most important. Insight lies in what is easily overlooked. Listening beyond words begins with stillness. When the mind slows, distractions fall away, and the quiet signals of intuition become perceptible. A tension in the shoulders, a restless thought, a fleeting sense of unease. Each is a messenger pointing toward alignment or warning of misdirection. Those attuned to these subtle cues move with awareness, responding to life's guidance before the need for reaction arises. Shaolin practice cultivates this sensitivity through disciplined observation, teaching that mastery is measured not only by action, but by perception. The hidden guidance of life requires patience and attentiveness. A decision may appear mundane, yet beneath it, currents of opportunity and consequence ripple silently. By observing without judgment, by listening without expectation, one begins to perceive these currents. The body becomes a compass, the mind a filter, and the spirit a navigator. The chosen do not wait for overt signs, they recognize that the quietest signals often carry the deepest truths. To listen beyond words is to trust the unseen, to honor the wisdom inherent in stillness, and to act with precision born from insight. Life reveals itself to those who cultivate this awareness, transforming ordinary moments into lessons, choices into guidance, and subtle signs into pathways toward mastery. In this quiet attentiveness, the world speaks clearly, and the self moves in harmony with forces far greater than impulse or noise. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to act despite it. To be chosen carries little meaning unless it is met with conscious, deliberate action. Life offers moments that test the resolve, where hesitation feels safer than movement and certainty is never guaranteed. Shaolin wisdom teaches that true mastery is revealed not in comfort, but in the ability to act with integrity when the path is unclear, when the outcome is unknown, and when every instinct urges retreat. Mindful action begins with awareness. To act consciously is to observe the currents within and around oneself, to weigh intention against impulse, and to move with clarity rather than reaction. It requires a steady mind, trained through discipline, and a spirit anchored in principle. Distractions, doubts, and fear are constant companions, yet they lose their power when met with attention and purpose. The chosen learn to recognize these forces as tests, invitations to refined focus, and opportunities to strengthen the inner self. Shaolin teachings have long emphasized that uncertainty is not a signal to wait, but a call to readiness. Every action taken with awareness, every decision rooted in principle rather than impulse becomes a step toward alignment with higher truths. The body may tremble, the mind may question, yet the act itself carries the power to transform. Courage is the bridge between preparation and realization, between insight and impact. To act consciously is to honor the responsibility of being chosen. It is a declaration that awareness and intention are stronger than hesitation and fear. In this practice, life unfolds not as a series of random events, but as a path navigated with precision, clarity, and strength. The moments that demand courage reveal the depth of mastery, showing that those who act with conscious intent move not only through life, but within the flow of destiny itself. Fear and doubt are shadows cast by the mind, lingering at the edges of every choice, every step toward purpose. They whisper that the path is too great, that the self is too small, and that surrender is safer than courage. Yet the Shaolin Way teaches that these shadows are not to be fought with force, nor ignored in hope they vanish. They exist as teachers, reflections of the inner battles that must be faced before the outer world can be mastered. To transcend fear is not to erase it, but to observe it with clarity. Mindfulness trains the mind to witness these emotions without judgment, to see fear as a signal rather than a chain. Through disciplined practice, the body learns steadiness, the mind learns focus, and the spirit learns resilience. Each meditation, each mindful breath, Each moment of deliberate attention strengthens the ability to face uncertainty without succumbing to it. In this space, fear loses its power to dictate, and doubt becomes a guide toward deeper understanding. Shaolin philosophy emphasizes that mastery begins within. The external world is but a reflection of the battles waged internally. A warrior of body alone may falter if the mind is unsettled. A seeker of knowledge alone may stumble if the spirit is constrained by hesitation. By confronting fear and doubt with conscious presence, one cultivates a foundation of strength and clarity. Those who learn to move through fear find that life no longer constrains them. Challenges are approached with measured courage. Decisions are made with clarity, and the calling within is embraced fully. Transcending these inner obstacles is not a single act, but a continuous practice, a steady unfolding of awareness and discipline. In doing so, the self becomes unshakable, and the world, once daunting, transforms into a field for mastery, growth, and purposeful action. The path of the chosen is not a title to hold, but a responsibility to honor. It calls for awareness, presence, and a steady heart. Timing, stillness, discipline, the recognition of one's inner light, alignment of body, mind, and spirit, and the courage to act consciously. These are the pillars that prepare us to meet life's most important moments. By embracing these teachings, by practicing mindfulness and the principles of Shaolin wisdom, each day becomes an opportunity to step closer to your highest potential. Challenges are no longer obstacles, but invitations to refine the self. Fear and doubt are no longer chains, but mirrors that show where growth is needed. Each action, each pause, each breath becomes part of a living practice, guiding you toward clarity, strength, and alignment with purpose. Take these lessons into your daily life. Observe, reflect, and act with awareness. Let stillness guide your choices, let discipline shape your habits, and let your inner light illuminate the path ahead. The moment Wednesday brings is not just a date on a calendar, but a chance to embrace readiness and step fully into the rhythm of life. May your journey be steady, your heart clear, and your spirit unwavering. If these words resonate, join our community, like this video, and subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire. Together, we walk the path of mastery, quietly, steadily, and with purpose.